Hello, Bloomington. I'm Mayor Tim Busse, and this is the Council Minute for the week of March 5th. Last week, I had the honor of representing Bloomington at the White House as part of an event highlighting the impact and the importance of recent federal programs here in Bloomington. The event was titled Communities in Action, Building a Better Minnesota. And attendees included city and county elected officials, nonprofit leaders, and business leaders from across the state. It was a great opportunity to hear from and to ask questions of members of President Biden's administration. I thought it was especially insightful to hear from former mayors who are now serving in the administration. Keisha Lance Bottoms, the former mayor of Atlanta and now senior advisor for public engagement, and Mitch Landrieu, former mayor of New Orleans and now senior advisor and infrastructure coordinator, both spoke. It was also nice to hear from Veterans Affairs Secretary Dennis McDonough. Dennis is a native of Stillwater, and he brought a nice Minnesota perspective to his comments. It was also a great opportunity to hear how other communities and organizations have used funds they've received through the American Rescue Plan, the CARES Act, and the infrastructure law, and to share the successes we've had here in Bloomington as a result of federal dollars. Over the past few years, we've focused on small business. At the height of the pandemic, Bloomington used CARES Act funds to keep struggling businesses afloat by providing more than 150 forgivable small business loans totaling nearly $850,000. We focused on people in need. We directed nearly $400,000 to VEAP to meet the needs of thousands of Bloomington and South Metro families. We put money in the economy. We were able to direct more than $6 million into infrastructure projects such as improvements to our water systems. That put money into the economy for companies looking for work, and it also had the benefit of easing capital replacement costs for ratepayers, so we were able to hold down utility charges during the economic crisis. We focused on affordable housing. Or, more accurately, we've invested more than $6 million federal dollars in housing that people can afford. And we focused on public safety. Using federal funds, we were able to add battalion chiefs to strengthen our Bloomington Fire Department, provide increased resources to the police department, and fund a crime victim advocate. And even though I was very prepared to make a pitch for the World Expo, the speakers from the administration beat me to it. At least 3 different speakers brought up the Expo in their remarks. That tells me that the White House is fully committed to Minnesota's efforts to host Expo 2027. In short, Bloomington does a pretty good job of making the most of federal dollars when funding becomes available. I was proud to share the work we've done. And as always, I was proud to represent Bloomington in our nation's capital. Every couple of months, when city utility bills are mailed out, I get 1 or 2 phone calls or emails from residents asking why they're required to pay for organics recycling if it's a service they don't use. It's a legitimate question, and one that I try to answer consistently when asked. And recently, the city learned that city policy aligns with state law on this question. First, some quick background. Hennepin County requires cities to make organics collection available to residents. It's part of the county's overall goal to have less waste go to landfills or be burned for energy by diverting that waste to reuse, recycling, or composting. For context, Hennepin County produced about 1.3 million tons of trash in 2021. Of that, about 34% went to a landfill, 27% was burned for energy at the Hennepin Energy Recovery Center, 26% was recycled, and 13% was composted. The county has identified compostable material as a growth area, since about a quarter of what gets sent to the landfill or burned for energy is actually organic or compostable material. When the county mandated organics collection, the city of Bloomington made the decision to implement the process in a way that would give it the best chance of success. Based on the experience of other communities, it was clear that a pay only if you participate type of system wouldn't lead to the participation numbers we were hoping for. Frankly, that type of system is basically set up to fail. Fewer people signing up for collection means that the cost for each household is higher, which means that fewer people sign up for collection. By spreading the cost across the entire community, it keeps the price a bit more reasonable, and it encourages greater participation. Bloomington's participation is at about 26%, which exceeds the goal of the first year of the program, so I think we're off to a good start. By comparison, Minneapolis has about a 50% participation rate, but they've been doing it longer than we have. Now, it turns out the council's decision to spread the cost across the entire community was not only good from a participation perspective, it's also what's required under state statute. Last week, Hennepin County provided city solid waste staff with a letter from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency regarding organics collection. The MPCA letter specifically addressed the question of whether all residents need to pay for organic service or only those who subscribe. In the letter, the MPCA made it clear that to comply with Minnesota State Statute 115A.93, licensing authorities, such as cities, are required to prohibit collectors from imposing a greater charge on residents who subscribe to organics collection than those who do not. In other words, all residents must pay for organic service if the service is provided, in the same way that all residents pay for traditional recycling service whether or not the residents use that service. The MPCA interpretation of the law indicates that the all-pay organics program that we have in place here in Bloomington is in compliance with the state statute. And even beyond the legal requirements, I think it's important to remember that the city and other public agencies and all levels of government make decisions about community priorities and values, and then fund and operate systems and programming with the entire community in mind. Government services aren't offered on an a la carte basis. You can't opt out of something that you don't use or you don't like. For example, Bloomington has decided that Creekside Community Center is an asset to our senior community. I am in the age range to take advantage of Creekside, but I have yet to take a class or participate in an activity there. My property tax dollars go to pay for Creekside because it's an important community service. Bloomington Ice Garden has been a foundational part of this city for more than 50 years, and I haven't yet laced up my skates there, not once. My property tax dollars go to support the operation and maintenance of BIG because the community has made it clear that an ice arena is a priority. Finally, my kids are 30 and 27 years old and are years removed from elementary and high school. But I still pay property taxes to the Bloomington School District because a strong school system makes Bloomington a better place. We are in this as part of a collective. A city, as a community, works toward a common good. That's what I know we're doing when we fund Creekside or BIG or our public schools. And I know that's what we're doing when we fund organics recycling. Now, if you haven't signed up for your organics recycling cart yet, I'd encourage you to give it a try. I think you'll be surprised at how easy it is and how much you generate on a weekly basis and how much lighter your garbage cart will be. And finally today, this Sunday, March 12th, the Bloomington Police Department and the Bloomington Fire Department will face off in what they promise will be a friendly hockey game at Bloomington Ice Garden. The event is free, everyone is welcome. The puck drops at 4:45 p.m. Now, if you recall, the police department beat the fire department in softball over the summer. You might not remember that, but I'm pretty sure the departments do, so I'm sure it's going to be a great game on Sunday. Police and fire have partnered with Veep and will be collecting items for donations to Veep. Veep is in need of items like rice, pasta, soups, and canned fruits and vegetables, so please, if you attend the game, bring along some items to donate to Veep. Once again, Sunday, March 12th, police versus fire and hockey at BIG, 4:45 start. I hope to see you there. That will do it for this week's Council Minute. Thanks much for joining me. Until next time, stay safe, Bloomington.